In 1927, the soon-to-be King George and his wife, the Queen Mother, came and visited the hotel on their way to Canberra, and they had a special luncheon. So a lot of things were built in preparation for the royal visit. You may notice our beautiful glass domed ceiling in the cocktail bar. That was put in as part of the visit. We also had another 23 hotel rooms built in preparation for the visit as well. And these hotel rooms were the very first rooms in Australia to have bathrooms inside the hotel rooms. My name is Michael Bruschetto, and I'm one of the co-owners here at the Carrington Hotel in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains of Australia. The hotel was built in 1883, and it was built at a time where the British Empire was expanding all around the world, and they wanted to have hotels strategically positioned so that all of the British royalty and the wealthy could stay somewhere when they were travelling visiting the colony. So in 1883 the hotel was built, and it was first named the Great Western Hotel. But then in 1886, when Lord Carrington became the Governor of New South Wales, they changed the name of the hotel to the Carrington Hotel. It was designed using a Victorian style architecture, and it stayed that way until 1911 when Sir James Joynton Smith bought the hotel, and he started to redesign the face of the hotel and redesign a lot of the interior. So it went from being a Victorian architecture to Art Nouveau, and then in the late 1920s it became more Art Deco. In our grand dining room we have two beautiful Ming vases that arrived here in Australia in the early 1900s. They came from England. Prior to that they were in China. When they got to Katoomba, the workmen that were unloading them off the train dropped one of the crates and broke the vase. But because they were so beautiful and so priceless, rather than throw them out, they fixed them and put some stainless steel staples in the Ming vase, and then reglazed it and then put it back on exhibition here at the hotel. But the hotel has always been leaders in technology, even dating back to the early 1900s when we first got electricity. We were one of the very first buildings in Australia to have a lift installed. In fact, we were the first building outside of Sydney to have a lift installed, and it was installed by Otis Elevators, who still maintain and look after the lift for us today. We also had a very high-tech paging system where if you were in your room and you wanted housekeeping or if you wanted room service, you would push a button and a buzzer would go off in a special room where all of the workers, all the servants were, and a little magnet would drop a number down so the staff would know which room to come and serve in. When we first arrived here at the hotel, there was nobody working in the maintenance department or on the building itself. So now we have 6 full-time staff who work maintaining and fixing up things that break around the hotel. We've undergone over the past 10 years a program of replacing all of the wiring and all of the plumbing in the hotel just to bring it up to a modern standard. And the challenge for us has been doing all of that without changing the historic fabric of the hotel. So we don't want to have new wires and new pipes running through the building and looking too modern. So a lot of the work we do is behind or underneath the hotel. So we run a lot of wires and pipes and everything under the hotel, just so the general public, when they come in here, don't see all of those new modern pipes. We see ourselves as the custodians of this hotel at this moment in time. In the future there will be other owners, and in the past there have been other owners. Everybody has had the responsibility of looking after this building and preserving it for future generations. So our job at the moment is to make sure that we pass this building on to the next generation in its very best condition, but at the same time with as much historic fabric in here as we can possibly preserve.